One location, two projects launched at the same time. First weekend, River Green 88% sold, but Promenade Peak only 54%. There's a huge gap in sales. So what actually happened? Now, the next upcoming project here is Zyon Grand. And the story is actually very interesting because the land price is cheaper than the rest. So, would Zyon Grand price lower than the rest? But here is a twist. Many of you are not confident in buying into CCR because history shows that all CR projects make much more money. So, should you consider Zyon Grand or skip? Two projects just across the street launched on the very same day. River Green, 88% sold. Promenade Peak, only 54% sold. A huge difference in sales result. So what actually went wrong? Was it layout or pricing or something else? Let's break it down. First thing, both projects are actually just one single tower with 500 plus units. River Green is right beside Great Wall MRT. Promenade Peak also quite near, walking distance to Great Wall MRT and Havelock MRT. So location-wise, honestly, not much difference. But when we put the layout side by side, that's where you can see the contrast. At one glance, River Green layout are super efficient. Promenade Peak layout, on the other hand, looks a bit special. And because River Green layout is so efficient, the unit size end up smaller. Their 4-bedroom only 980 square feet, which is actually smaller than Promenade Peak 3-bedroom. That also means the overall unit price is cheaper, especially when today's most of the buyers are Singaporean. Affordability becomes the most important. So naturally, most people can accept River Green pricing range. That's why their sales on the first weekend can achieve almost 90%. When we talk about price, there's one project in River Valley really stand out. Why? Because the land price is among the lowest. Let's compare. River Green land price was 1325 PSF. Promenade Peak was 1304 PSF. Another plot went up to 1420 PSF, but this upcoming project only 1202 PSF. That's even cheaper than a land sales from 9 years ago in the same area, and even lower than Toa Payoh Ori. And this lowest price site belongs to none other than Zyon Grand, right beside Havelock MRT. So the big question is, how come in such a prime area can be so cheap? Here is something interesting. This project actually has 3 towers. The 2 tall ones are condos, but the short one, that's the service apartment. Now, it's not a hotel and it's not the usual service apartment either. Under the new rules, this is called Service Apartment 2, SA2, which means a minimum 3 months stay. Basically, this is like renting out a condo unit. No more tourist style short stay. The catch, the developer must set aside part of their floor area for this service apartment, plus the space for shops and childcare on the ground floor. If you factor them in, the cheap land price of 1202 PSF, not so cheap after all. So the big question is, can you really get a good deal at Zyon Grand? Well, hard to say. Just now I shared why River Green sold so well, efficient layout and more affordable quantum. And with CDL's strong track record, I'm confident they will design something practical that fits Singaporean taste. Plus, Zyon Grand sits on the largest land plot in River Valley new launches. We are looking at 706 units across 2 62-story condo towers and 1 36-story service apartment. It is a brand new integrated development with restaurant, supermarket, childcare center, and direct access to Havelock MRT. Now, here is really something that stands out. 58% of the units are 3 bedrooms or bigger. Whenever you see a unit mix like this, it is a hint that the project will attract more on-stay buyers, which usually means a better resident profile and potentially stronger resale value in the future. I don't have the floor plan yet, but I have the unit size. 1 bedroom, 468 square feet, not too exciting. The 2 bedroom, 533 to 715 square feet, looks small but should be very efficient. And honestly, for these compact units, affordability matters more than the space. 3 bedroom, 813 to 1070 square feet. Good spread with larger and smaller options. 4 bedroom, 1415 to 1609 square feet. Big enough for a family with 3 kids. The 5 bedroom, 1814 square feet, perfect for multi-gen family. And finally, the 2 penthouse, around 2700 square feet. Those are the trophy units. So whether you want a budget-friendly option or something more comfortable for long-term living, there's choice. If the layout are very efficient, as I expect from CDL, this could be quite ideal. For now, we just have to wait for the floor plans and price guide to see whether Zyon Grand is a really good deal or not. But here comes the biggest question. Will it actually perform well? And that's where your concerns kick in. Core Central Region. Over the past few years, Core Central Region projects were not the star players. OCR was running the show because the price growth there was stronger. But is CCR really finished? Or maybe CCR is a sleeping giant, quietly preparing to fight back? To help you understand better, let me show you a real case study. Back in 2020, a 4-room HDB flat in Tampines about 5 years ago sold for around 530,000. At the same time, a brand new 3-bedroom condo in Tampines cost about 1.4 million. So if you want to upgrade moving from HDB to private, the price gap was almost 1 million. Getting a 1 million loan is easy, so many families could afford the upgrade. Now compare that to Orchard. In 2020, a 3-bedroom condo in Orchard cost 3.4 million. That's more than 6 times the price of Tampines HDB. For most upgraders, that's a mission impossible. That's why most Singaporeans upgrade to OCR condos instead of CCR. Higher demand, so the OCR prices climb much faster than CCR. Then come 2023, the government doubled Airbnb for foreigners from 30% to 60%. And remember, it was almost like putting a big no entry sign to the foreigners. And remember, CCR had always been the playground for foreigners buyer. They were the ones that driving the demand. Once they pull back, CCR price suddenly lost their engine of growth. Meanwhile, OCR condos keep running ahead. And fast forward to 2025, that same block 4-room HDB flat in Tampines, now already 10 years old, is selling for 830,000, up by 300,000. The 3-bedroom condo in Tampines, now already 1.9 million, up by 500,000. So the gap is still about 1 million. But what about Orchard? That 3-bedroom condo that was 3.4 million in 2020 is now just 3.6 million. In 5 years' time, it only went up by 200,000, which is less than 6%. In other words, the price gap between OCR and CCR has narrowed to one of the smallest level we have seen in many years. So CCR doesn't seem like far out of reach anymore. The question is, will this narrowing gap continue, or could this be the start of CCR big rebound you wish that you had bought earlier? So would you wait or would you act? If you would like to explore your options, feel free to WhatsApp me at 9188 7652. Hope you learned something today and hope to see you soon. Bye.